liquor license or something like that, it wasn't worth pushing the envelope to the point that you were going to lose your liquor license. None of my staff seemed to be worried about it. They really adapted to it just fine, and so we lived with that. But outside, no, I don't see anybody wearing masks outside. It does. The one that really kills me is when we see somebody driving in a car by himself wearing a mask. Luckily I drive around with my dog or dogs, and I don't make them wear masks with me in the car. And then they sleep in bed with us at night. So I got two on top of me, and I don't make them wear a mask either. I just let them slobber all over me.
Fantastic.
And that's interesting because some people would have their dogs, their pets wearing masks. It's like, come on, are you serious? But, but you guys, let's say, we're laughing about it, but you think back last year around this time, Dr. Fauci came out with a lot of doom and gloom statistics. He and Dr. Birx or whatever, Birx. Yeah, they were saying that millions of people were going to be dead. They gave the time frame. And when I would go outside and look at folks, the look on their faces was like, oh my God, am I going to be next? It could be you. You would go to the grocery stores and people were like quiet, getting their supplies. And some people didn't even get supplies. They were sending other people out to get their groceries. It was like, you can die, but I don't want to die. I'm going to stay inside. People washing their groceries down when they brought them inside. People were terrified. And for what? This guy lied. He and Dr. Birx lied, but the media, they loved it. They ate it up. For them and to them, it's like, hey, keep giving it to us. Yes, we're going to all die. And we want them all to stay inside. And you got to wear your mask and don't listen to President Trump about hydroxychloroquine because that'll kill you. Only to find out that a lot of people would be alive today.
I got my bottle today.
You see?
I did. Melanie had to go down and see her endocrinologist. He's a good friend of mine. I told her, I said, hey, honey, when you're down there, tell him that I need a bottle of hydrochloroquine, vitamin D, and zinc. And she came home with everything for me. And then there was a little note. Don't take this till you get it, but once you get it, take it.
Yeah, but they scared a lot of people. And now you have Fauci saying that if you attack him, you're attacking science. Well, we're going to attack you and science because that's what it's about. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to look at science, and you're supposed to keep going, looking at it and testing it to make certain that, hey, what you say, what it said it is, it is. But for him, he doesn't want it. And now he's planning on writing a book. Just the whole thing, Fauci, Cuomo. Remember the mainstream media, they were saying that, oh, Cuomo, he's so presidential. He's this. Presidential where? The president of the club to harass women, the president of the club to kill older people, 15,000 people. And of that number still, I want to know how many were Black and brown people, because they told us that Black and brown people were affected by this disease more so than anyone. And I got to say this also, and I know this is not going to be popular, but if you look at the Chinese government's history when it comes to minority, Black and brown people aren't like at the top of their list of people that they want to ingratiate themselves with. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but you look at the history, you look at the 80s and the 90s, and you look at the depiction that they had of Black and brown people. And you can also look at their advertisement, how they refused to have Black and brown people in any of their advertisement. And not too long ago, there was an advertisement of I think it was an Asian woman, Chinese woman, putting her boyfriend into a laundry machine. The boyfriend happened to be Black. When she put him in, got done washing him, he came out white. So I'm just putting that out there. And I think that people should think about it, because the media is not going to point it out. Okay, they're not going to point it out, but we have to be real. And on After Dark with Rob and Andrew, we keep it real. So I would say to you, go to DuckDuckGo, do your independent research. I planted the seed. Prove me wrong.
We're talking about
Facts cut like a knife.
you were talking about Fauci, and
Yes.
his number one job as a scientist is to work as hard as he can to disprove his own hypothesis. That is what science is about. He feels this way. Those people that believe that it came from the lab, their responsibility is to do everything they can to prove that hypothesis wrong. Fauci's responsibility as a scientist is to do everything he can to try to prove his hypothesis wrong. That's what's called science. And to be able to listen and question people's results, because without that, science doesn't work. And that's what they've done. They've shut it all down.
You're right. We have to be able to test it, hypothesizing, and see if it works. What they're giving us to prove if it is a true or negative. But like you said, they shut it down, and we're not supposed to question it. We're supposed to be like little sheeps and just say, yes, okay, this way, that way. That's not the way it works. And so many of us gave up so much for that. Again, a year ago, people were working independent, and now look at us. A lot of people are depending on the government because the government keeps giving. And, this is what Biden is counting on, that they'll vote him back in because, hey, I'm the welfare king. I will give and give and give and give and give because you guys can't do it yourselves. You don't have to go back to work. I want to give you more money. People are relying on, they're counting on that. And we thought, oh, that'll never happen. Look what happened. They've stolen our independence and made us dependent on the government. So when we say it'll never happen, can happen. We say that China can't take over, China can take over. Look at how China has silenced the NBA, the NFL. You say anything negative, they will come after you. Look at what they did to John Cena. John Cena, a wrestler, strong, big guy. They made him grovel. Why? Because he said that Taiwan was a country unto itself. China didn't like that. You got to cut your movies off. And what did he do? He came out groveling. So we shouldn't say that it can't happen. We should say that it can happen, and we must beware of what's going on in this country.
Yeah, in situations like John Cena, it's almost like it's hard to be mad at him. You've almost got to be mad at the system because he's trying to make it in Hollywood. And there he does. He says the thing about Taiwan that he says. I'm sure when he said it, he didn't realize it was going to be controversial whatsoever. But as you said, he's just left wrestling and now he's in the Hollywood. Captain Cox knows a lot about that out there. And if you don't say the line and suck up to China, your career is not going to last long in Hollywood. So really, he had no choice but to bend over and apologize to China if he wants an acting career, which is very, very sad. That's the system we currently have in this country, in particular in Hollywood.
Yeah, he bent over and took it up the wazoozi without any lube. Ouch. I bet that was a difficult one to take. It's like, come on, John, you're supposed to be bonds of steel. Stand up. Like you said, he wants to make it. He wants to make it in Hollywood.
I think, I don't know how old he is. I don't know what his financial situation is. Maybe he is at a point where he just couldn't risk, going against it. But boy, there's been a lot of Hollywood people that have pushed back, that have gone to the independent side, have gone to independent movies, independent movie makers and stuff, and they're doing quite well. They're being supported. I can't be too critical of him, but at the same time, I'm not too happy with what he did. It does take some balls, and unfortunately, if just a few people in Hollywood, just one or two big names, would help support the cause, then I think this would happen. You were earlier talking about Chrissy Teigen. that event is going to change some things. We're not seeing it yet, but we're going to start, I think in 30 days, you're going to see some results of her being canceled. And we're going to see, they're now seeing what we saw. They're now feeling what we've been feeling and what we've been complaining about. I would have loved to be able to get on the radio and gone to her aide and said, okay, she made a mistake. I'll forgive her. But she needs to forgive everybody else. And all of you need to forgive everybody else and stop breaking it off on everybody that might say the wrong little thing. That would be nice, but I know it wouldn't work because she isn't, I don't think she's contrite at all. She got caught. She's losing her little financial money. More than anything else, she got caught. Now she doesn't know what to say. So I hope the rest of them realize that it could happen to them.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when you see cancel culture work in our favor for a change, and then some scumbag like Chrissy Teigen gets canceled. She is a horrible person and used her platform and her celebrity status to try and bully people. And especially in the case of which she's getting canceled for, she was bullying teenagers, telling them to kill themselves and other awful, terrible things that a normal person would know that they shouldn't do. But she's so entitled, she felt that it was okay that she was doing it. And now all these people who are sticking up for Chrissy Teigen right now are the same people who made her feel entitled to behave that way in the first place. So until she breaks away from this negative influences on social media. I mean, this girl, she comes and goes off social media every 6 months. She's a complete phony, just like her face and her breast. But yeah, until she removes those negative influences, I'm not willing to accept any apology from her. And I'd like to see her nasty husband, John Legend, get canceled as well, because I do not like that guy either.
Oh no, John Legend and the legendary music. Oh, we're going to get rid of him. Look, as I said earlier on, I mean, Miss Queen of Cancelation has been canceled. She and her subjects should be canceled also. And someone just dropped in the chat room that she and Meghan Markle were good friends. Well, guilty by association. I'm just waiting for someone to come up with the dirt on Meghan Markle. Now, what the captain is saying is admirable, that we forgive, we forget, and come out and say, hey, Chrissy, we're going to forgive you. We hope you would do the same for others. But I want her to come out and name the people that she offended, name the people that she attacked, and be sincere about it. I think she's only upset now that she got caught because she's known about this all along. But people were afraid to say anything. So she's sitting there and thinking, you can't do anything to me. I want to make certain this happens and that happens. Her husband has to know that she's a mean girl. I mean, she even looks mean. And I can only imagine the people that she's been nasty to. And here's the deal. Not to sound too critical, but at the same time, I am being critical. All of us have done things in our life that we're not proud of. We have, said things to people, borderline bullying, or we did bully, and it wasn't right. Okay, so if we were to say right now, let's just give everyone a clean slate and just say, we forgive you the sins that you've committed. Go forth and sin no more. Oh, that sounds like someone else who was great in history who said that. Who was that? Oh, Jesus Christ. And we're not Jesus Christ. That being said, if we could get to that point and just say, okay, we've all done wrong, let's move on. But we would never get to that point because the left doesn't want that. They enjoy feeding the beast. If you happen to be the flavor of the month, you are forgiven. I think that Chrissy, there are a lot of people in her inner circle that had probably had it with her. Be tired of her theatrics. She's on social media, she's off social media. When she came back, she would come back with pump and circumstance, and she's this and she's that and she's glowing, and oh my God, I'm so great. I don't wear any underwear and I walk around and I'm this and I mean, people were tired of her. So they had to X her out. Now, let's go back a couple steps. Hunter Biden. Look at the sins that he's committed. We have emails with him saying the N-word. Oh, the media doesn't care. Okay, next. He's taking money from China. Okay, next. Knocked up a stripper. Didn't want to claim his own child. Next. Word is that on his tape, his laptop, there was some lascivious behavior with underage girls. Okay, whatever. Next. So if you're the flavor of the month that they happen to like, you get a next pass card. But if they're tired of you and your antics, tired of your theatrics, hey, they will hang you out to dry. So I would say to Chrissy Teigen, a lot of the other people that are out there that probably have skeletons in their closets, it's coming. Karma is coming. The footsteps of inevitability are walking behind you. For whom the bell tolls, your bell will be tolling next. Look out.
It's sure fun to see it, though.
Absolutely. I like talking about it. I know I sound kind of dement, but I mean, this woman, it's every day I would see her and she was trying to like extol these virtues of who she was. And she has a collection of dishes and pots and pans, and she's a good mom, and she's doing this and making other women feel as if though they're less human being. But now we see that she poops just like the rest of us. She gets talks just like all the other crazy Hollywood moms.
She reminds me of four ladies that came in the restaurant. This is about 2010, hot August night. In fact, because of this, Melanie doesn't usually let me talk to customers anymore. And I was up at the hostess stand. I had just dropped some papers off to our hostess. These four ladies walk in and they go, "What's the weather like on the patio?" I go, "Well, about the same as it was when you got out of your car in the parking lot. Hot." "Oh, well, we want a seat on the patio tonight." I said, "Oh, okay." They said, "Here, what's your name?" And they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm putting you on the wait list." And she, "Well, how long?" I said, "About an hour and a half." And they said, "Do you know who we are?" I said, "No, I don't." She said, "We're from Newport Beach." And I go, "Oh, well, that's great. I like Newport Beach." And I said, "Do you know who I am?" And they go, "No, who are you?" I said, "I'm in charge of the seating, and it's still going to be an hour and a half." Melanie doesn't let me go up there anymore. That type of attitude is what Chrissy Teigen reminds me of. They think they're so uppity and so above everybody else that they can treat people like crap. And so she's getting her own. She's getting it back.
Mm-hmm. You see so many of these celebrities in Hollywood that it's been so long since they've been like a regular person, or perhaps if their parents were actors, they've never lived a normal lifestyle. They're just so detached from the everyday American. They have no idea what the everyday American is going through because they've got millions of dollars in their bank account. And yet these are the people that the left look for advice on who to vote for. I just do not get it.
No, somebody told me a long time ago, don't forget you put your pants on just like everybody else, one leg at a time. So.
Right, but these guys, they think that they're so special and they have to be catered to, and that, you know, they're above reproach and they tell us what we should think and we should do. I remember the other day, Cher came out and she was attacking a senator and she got the name wrong. I mean, it's like they don't think, they just feel as if though, hey, I can come out there and I can say this and my fans are going to follow me. I mean,
yeah, that's like when Whoopi Goldberg said that Dr. Jill Biden would make a great Surgeon General, and they had to tell her that she wasn't a medical doctor.
Yeah, and it's true, and that's how they operate. They think they know, they think that they're the authoritative on all subjects, but they're not. And when you try to tell them, they want to go crazy on you. But I mean, look at Alyssa Milano. She's now thinking that she should probably run for the House or the Senate. And if she's in California, of course, those people would probably vote for her. You look at Caitlyn Jenner. She thinks that she should govern. You have all these senses of entitlement. Look at Matthew McConaughey. Oh, maybe he's looking at it. Oh, I can get people to vote for me. Look at The Rock. Dwayne Johnson. He's thinking the same thing. Oh, maybe I could run for president. I sound like Barack Obama. People love me. I have 1 million followers on Twitter or 1 million followers on Instagram. Surely they love me. But when it's time to discuss the issues, I guess they'll try to pull a Joe Biden, keep him in the basement. No one will ever know. They won't make a mistake. And then we can get them elected. Rig the election, cheat, steal. Look at Arizona. They're recounting the election, the votes. I mean, all this is by design, as I said. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is. And moving on to Arizona, we're hoping to get some big news on Arizona this week. It has not happened just of yet. We all know about the recount and the audit in Arizona. We heard a lot on Ricky's show today about what might be happening. Rob gave his perspective of what he hopes happens. I just hope that they can prove something about these ballots, that it was fraud if it does turn out to be that way. I hope they do come out and announce the information. But what I see a lot of is people seem to be getting their hopes up again. They think we're going to get this Arizona news, and then next thing you know, President Trump is going to be sworn into office. I'm not ready to make that leap just yet, as much as I would like to see it. But Captain Cox, what do you think can come out of this Arizona recount when it finally comes to fruition?
Well, I hope they find what they've been hunting for. I hope that what we find supports what we've been saying. And from there, I hope that's the momentum to go into Michigan, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at least those three, and do the same thing. I don't, even if it's proven that Trump won the election, I think we're talking about a total of 49,000 votes spread out through these various areas. I just don't see them overturning the election. I think at this point, that could be disastrous for this country. As much as I'd like to get Trump back in office, I think I'd stop there. I don't think that would be good for the country. I think we just have to, I think we make the point, we prove what we said is what it is. We may never get the acknowledgement from the other side, but I think if you have the facts, at least we know the truth. And then you have to, and I think the public then, I think what that does do for us, it almost guarantees us the House in 2022. And I think we just have to wait. We have to get the House back. We have to get the White House back in 2024. But at least we'd go down being vindicated that we were right. There was fraud that happened. And I still believe there was. I don't know how it manifested itself, but there were too many weird deals across the board. If you see everything, it's pretty hard to take all of these issues and just write them off as a coincidence.
Yeah, I completely agree. Look at President Trump, 75 million votes, which was a record for anybody who's running for president again. Won 2,497 counties compared to Joe Biden's 477 counties. President Trump won 18 of the 19 bellwethers. Joe Biden only won one of the 19 bellwethers. President Trump won Florida, Ohio, and Iowa. Joe Biden lost Florida, Ohio, and Iowa, which has never happened before in at least 75 years. President Trump won House seats. The Democrats and Joe Biden lost House seats. We see so many things that just do not make sense about this election. And we really want the truth to come out, and I really hope it does. And this Arizona is just the beginning of it. Like Captain Cox said, I hope the rest of these states jump on board and do their best to try and prove that it was fraud as well.
Well, yeah, I just piggyback off of what you and the captain said, because I agree with you completely. But more so what the captain said, that if I know a lot of people were thinking that Trump is going to be in office in August, he's going to come back in September. Not going to happen. I don't want it to happen. And as the captain said, it would rip this country apart. I mean, literally tear the country up. Because what you have to look at is that not only would we have to remove Joe, but then we would have to remove Kamala. Not going to happen. People aren't going to let it happen. I don't want it to happen. As I said earlier on another show, the Ricky Rebel show, I want those two to stay in, and I want them to fail miserably. I don't want the country to fail. Right now, Joe is being shown up on the world stage. He's mumbling, he's fumbling. I mean, there was one picture with him and the leaders of the G7, as opposed to him walking out front with the Queen. He's leading from behind. He's the tail end. I'm like the richest country in the nation, and he's walking at the back. And all these other countries are taking money from us. Then he goes and he has a meeting with Boris Johnson, and then he tries to be Mr. Smarty Pants and goes, oh, well, you forgot to introduce the prime minister of some African nation. It was playing into this whole racist thing. See, I remember, I'm going to say, you forgot to introduce this guy. And Boris waved him off and said, no. That was embarrassing for the country. And then with Putin, well, I'm not going to be on the same stage with him. I'll meet with him in private, and then, I'll have my own press conference. Why, Joe? Why won't you have a press conference with him? All of your predecessors have done it. The Bushes, Clinton, Obama. Why can't you stand toe-to-toe with Putin, who's all of 5'7", and you're 6'1"? Why can't you do it, Joe? Could it be that you'll make a fool out of yourself? Putin has already questioned the whole Black Lives Matter thing and saying, well, are they going to blame me for that? That's embarrassing. The Chinese said something similar. You guys can't come tell us about human mistreating humans, human violation, when look at what you're doing with the blacks, with Black Lives Matter. They're using our own BS against us. And then Putin comes out and says, a journalist was asking him, well, people say that you've had people killed. Have you? And what does Putin say? In short, I'm paraphrasing him, why are you guys asking me that? What about your government? And the young woman who was shot on the hill. Why haven't you guys released who killed her? Did the government did the government have her killed? That's embarrassing. The media back home, they won't mention it. They'll say, oh no, don't pay any attention to him. The rest of the world is looking at this, and they see that we're being called out because of our own BS that we put out there, that we created. How the heck are we going to let a dictator, a killer, come and say, wait, why are you asking me that question? You guys started BLM. Why are you asking me that question? You guys killed a woman on the hill, and you won't release who killed her. That is embarrassing. And the media, oh, Joe, he's showing them that America is back. How is America's back? And he's walking at the tail end of all the other leaders of the free world. How are we back? He's mumbling, bumbling, and fumbling over his sentences. He can't make a coherent sentence, but we're back. And then you have Jill ushering him on. Come on, Joe. Joe, be quiet. Joe, listen. Joe, do this. Where's Joe? Joe, shut up. Joe, talk. Joe, go pee. Joe, go to bed. Joe, don't do that. He's a leader of the free world. And then you have Kamala in Guatemala laughing, cackling about going. She's never been to Europe. So why should she go to the border? Well, it seems like Trump is going to be going to the border June 30th, which I think is good. I think he should go a lot sooner because they might try to rush Kamala there now. These people are clowns, and it's an embarrassment. And Americans need to wake up and see it for what it is. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, well said, Rob. Thank you so much to our guest, Captain Cox. We will be back with him Sunday night for our big Father's Day special live here on YouTube. We'll have Captain Cox on. Hopefully, Ray Poetry will be joining us, and then some additional guests as well. If you'd like to come on the show, just contact us for the big Father's Day special Sunday. We will be here live on YouTube, on Facebook, Maga Media YouTube account, the After Dark Facebook account. And then, of course, you can follow us every single night, Monday through Friday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on iHeartRadio, America Out Loud After Dark. We are on every single night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. So check us out on America Out Loud. Thank you so much once again to our guest, Captain Cox. And be sure you guys go to the Ricky Rebel YouTube channel and check out Rob and I's guest appearance on the Ricky Rebel show today. It was a really good time. Have a great night, everybody. And remember to stand for something or you will fall for nothing.